Megan Hicks of I Run Far. I'm with David Sinclair, the second place finisher of the 2021 Canyons Endurance Runs 100K. Hey, David.
Hi, Megan. Thanks for being out there and covering the race today.
Yeah, that was really fun. We usually try to do these interviews in person, but you live over the pass in the Sierra Nevada, and you went home and scrubbed the poison oak off your legs after the race.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty beat up and wanted to get home and shower. So
when you live that close, I would go too.
Yeah, it's pretty nice to have it right in the backyard there.
Yeah. You had a heck of a race today. How do you feel about it?
I'm pretty ecstatic with how it went. You know, it's always tough moving up in distance. I'd, never raced over 6.5 hours or 50 miles before. So this was like the most vert and just like the hardest, most competitive ultra I'd been in. So yeah, I was really psyched with how it went. I ran strong pretty much the whole way, and we were running well under course record pace the whole first 2/3 of the race, and I kept thinking, I know this is going to catch up with me eventually, and it did. Right about like halfway up the Deadwood climb, I started tightening up and had a couple little dark miles that was thinking maybe I'm going to cramp up and have to just walk it all the way in, but I was able to hang on pretty well.
So talk about a little bit about the beginning of the race. It's one of those dark starts, flying off the line, kind of flying through the early morning type thing. And the terrain's pretty runnable early. So yeah, maybe give us the rundown of the first 15 or 20 miles.
I mean, it was just a huge group, right from the start, like 20, 25 guys just clipping along at something like 6-minute miles out there. It's just pretty runnable, like gradual downhill that first 4. And so my original game plan was to kind of hold back and be patient, but I was feeling pretty good. So I found myself, never too far off the front, feeling good, trying to keep it in check a little bit. Yeah, so it was a fun big pack. Two people were getting ahead on the climbs, and I find I'm a pretty good downhill runner. So I kept, getting a little behind on the early climbs and kind of working my way back up on the rolling and gradual downhills. But it felt just really comfortable. It was fun to run in a group, and just absolutely gorgeous morning with the cool weather and nice like fog. I suppose you get up above the river to look down. So just really fun running through like Driver's Flat there.
I'm really glad you got to see that scene, because for us spectators, that fog in the American River Valley and the sunrise and the moon was just unreal this morning.
Yeah, I couldn't ask for a better day for a race. With the rain down there actually made it like really nice, runnable. It didn't seem too muddy at all, and just crisp and cool, which was the nice thing for me, because living up in Truckee, I don't think I had maybe 3 runs that have been above 60 degrees so far this year. So it was a real blessing to have it be a nice, cool day.
Awesome. I think there was still a pack of 5 or 6 of you guys at Cal 2, like 24 miles into the race, but then things really splintered on the climb up to Forest Hill. Can you talk about that part from your point of view?
Yeah, I think it was, it was a pretty close pack, and I found myself in the front through Driver's Flat, running with Adam Peterman, and I think it was Daniel from New Zealand. And Adam was feeling good, so I let him do most of the leading and took the lead a couple times on some of the hills where I was feeling good. And I was saying, why not at that point? I still feel really good. Let's see what we can do. And we kind of working together finally opened up a gap there into Forest Hill, and I pushed right through without stopping at the aid station Forest Hill, and finally found myself in the lead for a little bit. So down to the river crossing there, I could see Adam was just, like 30 seconds behind me. And so I pushed it up to Michigan Bluff and kind of, got a little bit of a lead there. And then finally, about mile 40 coming to the Deadwood aid station, I started just tightening up, and I looked back, and there's Adam again, and I go, oh no, there goes my shot at the win, and he came just flying by me. So that was the darkest patch of the race there, that the climb past the Deadwood aid station. I was we hit snow for the first time, and it was sloppy for a mile. And then, finally got a second wind on the way down, but I was really hurting like the last 12 miles. So luckily I'd stashed some trekking poles in my drop bag at the Deadwood aid station, and with the legs kind of on the edge, I grabbed those trekking poles and just tried to use my arms as much as I could to get up the last 9-mile climb, which felt like it kept going on and on. And I had no idea. I kept getting splits that I was, 5, 8, 10 minutes back on Adam. And I was like, okay, just keep on moving and try to hold on a second.
And it never became an issue of anybody behind you. Nobody ever, Jared didn't get close, I don't think.
I mean, I think he was pretty close at the end there. I was never really getting any good splits.
Okay.
So I had no idea how close
you were running a little scared.
I was just running, as hard as I could without, the last 4 miles there back in the slush. It was like these icy cold puddles and like your tight legs. So the icy cold water, you're like, how hard can I go without, making my legs like totally seize up? So I never really looked back. I just kept my head down and kept using my arms as much as I could to get to the finish, and kept getting, okay, it's 2 miles to the finish. Like, I think I can do this. I think I can do this. So yeah. And then, felt like it was a minute or two, and he came across and I was like, oh, that was closer than I realized. If it was much further, I think he would have had me, but
interesting. Yeah. A lot of people came to this race in search of a golden ticket, but there was a really cool moment at the finish line where, you kind of demurred a little bit about the ticket, and then you handed it over to 4th place finisher Rod Farvard, right? So this wasn't you were not seeking a golden ticket at this race. You were here for other things.
I mostly want to do it because it's in my backyard. It's such a cool competitive race. To get a little experience moving up to 100K and try it out was my main goal. And I knew that, I had a shot at top 3, and I was like, oh, it's tempting. I definitely want to run in Western States in the future, but I'm already planning to try to run the Broken Arrow races, right? Even closer in my backyard, 3 miles down the road, and maybe can try to go to Europe and run Marathon du Mont Blanc. So I've got a bunch of cool things on the calendar. So I think Western States will have to wait. And so when I saw Rod come across the finish line, having an awesome race, I think he passed 1 or 2 people on the final climb to move up into 4th, and he's really wanting to run Western States. So when I saw that, I was like, this is the right thing to do. I don't need to go home and think about it for 2 weeks. And it's the right decision for me to, wait. Hopefully in the future, I'll be able to get into Western States and give it a real shot.
That was a really cool moment. It was win-win for everybody, and it was really fun to spectate that type of thing. You don't always get to see that type of interaction. That was really cool.
Yeah, as soon as I did it, I knew it was the right call to see the smile and the joy in his face. So as based on how I felt coming across the finish line, I was like, ooh, 40 more miles plus. I'm not someone who likes the heat, so I don't know. Yeah, so good luck to Rod. I'll be rooting for him.
That's awesome. Last question for you. You said instead of states, or your 2022 is going to include the Broken Arrow races, Marathon Mont Blanc. What else are you going to do this year?
Everything's a little up in there. It kind of depends how the legs come around and everything's feel. I might do the Speed Goat in July is one of my favorite, real mountain races. So I'm signed up for that. And then I'll probably try to finish the 3 races out of the Golden Trail series. So since there are two in the US this year, that's a great opportunity. So I'm going to try to do the Pikes Peak Ascent and then the race down Flagstaff Sky Peaks. So those are the big ones on my agenda. Might apply or try to see if I can get a spot on the world's team too.
Right on. You got a busy year.
Yeah. So lots of races on the calendar. So there's lots of great races to do.
Plenty to do. Well, congratulations on your 2nd place finish at Canyon's 100K today. That was really fun to watch.
Thanks so much, Megan.